Hey guys, our math lesson today is lesson 119, our second to last math lesson of the book. Really proud of you guys for making it this far. Sometimes we don't finish the book in my previous classes, so it's really awesome that you guys have made it to the end of the book. This lesson is on adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators. So you've learned how to add and subtract fractions with like denominators, with common denominators. You just add the numerator. But sometimes you'll have fractions that have different denominators, and you need to know how to add them. Basically, what you have to do is rename the fractions so they have the same denominators. You've learned how to rename fractions already to find an equivalent fraction. So all you have to do is apply that knowledge, and then you can add and subtract your fractions. So let's go ahead and look at example 1 on page 747. I don't have my easel set up, so I'm just going to do it like this. Hopefully it works out okay. Example 1 says, a recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup of whole milk and 3/8 of a cup of skim milk. What amount of milk does the recipe call for all together? So we need 1/4 of a cup and 3/8 of a cup. So we have to add them, 1/4 plus 3/8. Well, we can't do that. We can't add those because they have different denominators. So what I need to do is I need to make them have the same denominator. Now, I know that, backtrack a second. What you want to do is look at the biggest denominator, which is 8, and think, can I easily change this denominator to an 8? And if you can, that makes it really simple. So how do I get this 4 to become an 8? Well, I have to multiply it by 2, right? So I do 1/4 times 2 over 2, remember, because that equals 1. So 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. So now I can do 2/8 plus 3/8. And I can easily add that together, and we get, y'all can still see that, 5/8. 5/8 of a cup. And there you go. Now, the example 2 is one second, I'll read it. It says, Chuck looked at the clock and saw that the lunch bell would ring in 5/6 of an hour. Chuck looked at the clock again a half an hour later. At that time, what fraction of an hour remained until the lunch bell rang? So I have 5/6 basically I need to do 5/6 minus 1/2, right? Okay, well, I can't do that. But just like the other one, this 2 can easily become a 6 by multiplying both of these by 3. Okay? So I'm going to change it so I have 1/2 is equal to how many 6? Well, I can multiply it by 3 to get there, right? Because 2 times 3 is 6, so 1 times 3 is 3. So I can do 5/6 minus 3/6 equals 2/6. But now we look at 2/6, that can be reduced. It's not in its simplest form. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to reduce it to 1/3, because if I divide 6 by 2, I get 3, and 2 divided by 2 equals 1. And there you go. That's how we add and subtract fractions with different denominators. So today, remember, you're only going to have to do the lesson practice, which is on page 747. It's A through F. Be sure to upload that into Schoology and make sure you are doing it correctly. And as always, let me know if you have any questions, okay?